I'm going to show you a very simple 1 minute NQ chart setup. It's got some very popular moving averages, the 20 SMA and the 200 SMA. I've played around with a lot of moving averages in my time, and these two are definitely a couple of my favorites. The 20 SMA being my all-time favorite, and the 200 SMA is this green dash line with the bands around it. And to help me better visualize any kind of moving average strategy that I have, I've been using the moving average crossover indicator for many years now. I can input any two moving averages and it will paint the bar colors for me, red and green. I can also have the outline enabled. Then it will paint the candle outline and the wicks as well. And if I still want to be able to tell which of these candles was an up candle or a down candle, but still retain the trend bias, then I click on the bias based, activate that. So now if we are in a downtrend, the individual down candlesticks will be solid red, and if it was a candlestick that closed to the upside, they will be hollow. And the reverse for a long trend. These solid green candles were candles that closed up, and the hollow ones closed down. To get this band around the 200 SMA, this gold band, and also to get the color changing moving average, I'm using the Titanoboa Trader. And for this I've made all of the regions transparent except for the upper and lower region of number 1 right around the band, and those are gold. I can change the opacity of the band. Now it's a little bit thicker there. If I want to make this band a little bit wider, this is the plot multiplier for support and resistance level 1. I can change that to a 2. Now it's a little bit wider. I could change that to a 3, 4, 5, however wide I want to make that thing. The Titanoboa Trader will plot multiple lines of support and resistance, set amounts of standard deviations out from any kind of moving average line on your chart or a pivot point or VWAP. It'll create these bands. It allows you to have signals for a breakout and a return of different levels. I'm just using it for this very basic wide band. And then lastly, I've got one of my favorites, the Wave Trend Pro. And if you haven't seen some of my other videos specifically on the Wave Trend Pro, it's basically just taking a moving average cross, but only a moving average cross in a very overbought or oversold area. I like indicators where I know exactly how they work and what they're measuring. That gives me a lot more confidence in using them. So I tend to stick with basic, simple principles that I can fully wrap my head around. The Wave Trend Pro is printing these wave signals, and it's also printing this histogram. And I'll show you how I'm using this histogram for divergences. You could really have anything down here. You could have an RSI down here, or stochastics, and be looking for divergences, all kinds of different things. This is just a basic, simple chart setup with a couple of moving averages, VWAP, a histogram or an oscillator of some kind, and you're good to go. I'm just showing you some of the ways that I'm making this more visually appealing, trying to make my charts very easy to read in the moment, in the heat of the moment. When I need my indicator information displayed accurately, simply, beautifully, easy to understand. This is the price action from Friday morning, the New York session. Here's 9:30 all the way to a little past 11:30. First 2 hours. 9:30 opens up. We're in the green on our moving average crossover. The moving average crossover I've got on this 1 minute NQ chart is set with a fast moving average of a 5 EMA and a slow moving average of a 13. So when the 5 crosses the 13, that's what's coloring these candles. And you can see this makes life a lot easier. We had a green wave, a red wave, a green wave, a red wave, and a green wave. And during the course of those 2 hours, hopefully you could pick out a couple trades where you could ride one of these waves and get a few ticks. What rhymes with ticks? Wicks. Look at these wicks. I'm paying attention to wicks. I did a whole video on wicks. You should check it out. Here's some wicks up here. We get these wicks on top. I'm looking for a potential move down. This candle with the big wick here, if we break below the low of this candle, could be looking to short it. Shorten the bottom of this candle down to the 20. There's a little 10-point scalp for you. Here's a couple of big wicks, and it's right off of a key level, the 20 SMA, this pink dashed line. And our moving average crossover is green. We're above VWAP, especially if I break the previous highs of the morning so far, right here on this candle. So over here we get a break above there, have a nice move up. And by this point our Wave Trend Pro histogram is also green. Above VWAP, moving average crossover is green, Wave Trend Pro histogram is green, and we're breaking above the most recent highs from this morning. Nice little pop up there. Wave signals. I love wave signals. Even though I love them, I'm not just going to take one because I see it appear on the chart. I mean, this is some 10 o'clock news. I'm not taking any trades right around news. But in general, when I see a wave signal or any signal appear, I want to get some confirmation. So we get this signal. If I'm waiting for confirmation, I want it close below the signal candle. And in this case, since we're so close to the 20 SMA, I want to see a break and a close below the 20 SMA before I get into a short. And I don't know if you remember when I was talking about wicks a minute or two ago, but look at this wick. Huge wick. I'm loving the size of this wick. And we're breaking below the 20. I mean, even if you didn't have this wave signal, the size of this wick, breaking below the 20 SMA, looks like a great place to get short to me. Here we've got our moving average crossover turning the candles red for us. Got the Wave Trend Pro turning red. And this Wave Trend Pro histogram, here's where the divergences come in. So when we're coming up to one of my key levels, the VWAP, this green line, look at this histogram. We've been making lower lows, lower lows. Histogram's getting higher and higher. That is a divergence. We get a nice bounce up off of VWAP right up to the 20. Bounce right back down to VWAP, and look at the wick right off of this VWAP right here. That wicking candle right off of VWAP, and we're still getting some divergence. And we made a lower low here than we did here, but the histogram is still going higher. More divergence. Nice pop up. This is 10:30. I'm usually done at 10:30. If you're trading later in the day, here's another big wick right off the 20. I love wicks when they correspond with key levels, like this 20 SMA. Nice move up. Here we get a close below the 20 SMA, and we also get our moving average crossover turning red. The Wave Trend Pro histogram is turning red. Come back down to VWAP. Here's a beautiful conjunction. We've got the 200 SMA coming up right to VWAP. This is now a doubly potent area. And not only that, but as price is moving lower and lower here, our Wave Trend Pro histogram is moving up. So we've got divergence, and we're sitting right at this key level. So I'm definitely on the lookout for either a potential reversal or a potential break lower. In this case, we get the break above the 20. Moving average crossover starts painting the candles green. Histogram turns green. We get a nice bounce. So this is a 1 minute chart. You could also throw this setup on any time frame. You could have this on your 1 minute chart and also have it on a couple other time frames for some higher time frame confirmation. I did a basic price action video where I've got a very similar setup on a 1 minute, a 5 minute, and a 15 minute chart. And basically you're just looking for your red and green waves to be in alignment on all three time frames. And if you've got some very simple key levels on your chart like the 200 SMA, the 20 SMA, and VWAP, there's a lot of trading opportunities pretty much every single day with this very simple setup. So I hope you got some good ideas from this basic core setup. Links to all the fun toys that I'm using are in the description. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this content, please consider a like and a subscribe. Best of luck to you in your trading. Have a great day.